Hey everyone, and welcome back. I love a good deep dive. Well, today we're heading to Northeast India, to Nagaland specifically.
Fascinating area.
It is, to learn about the Sumi Naga people.
Okay.
We're using Sumi Naga, warriors and traditions of Nagaland.
Great book. Lots of good stuff in there.
It is, and it's really interesting. Like right off the bat, the Sumi Naga, they were headhunters,
Yeah.
traditionally. But now they're known for building one of the biggest Baptist churches in all of Asia. How did that happen?
Well, that's what we're going to find out. The transition from warriors to community builders. It's quite a story.
Okay, so let's start with their warrior past. Headhunting,
Uh-huh.
obviously, a brutal practice.
Yeah.
How did this fit into their beliefs?
Well, you see, they believed that taking an enemy's head, you could absorb his strength, his spirit,
Oh, wow.
and transfer it to your clan.
Okay, so it wasn't just like physical dominance, but also a spiritual thing.
Yeah.
So this belief, it's like power was tangible, like you could take on the attributes of your enemy.
Exactly. And headhunting, it wasn't random violence. It was calculated. It influenced everything. Their hierarchy, their rituals, how they interacted with other clans.
It's so different from how we view conflict now. When did this practice start to decline?
Well, Christian missionaries started arriving late 19th century, early
Wow.
20th century. As Christianity spread, headhunting declined.
That makes sense. But the Sumi Naga, they haven't just abandoned their past.
Right.
They've held onto their traditions, adapted to modern life.
Right, and that's what makes them so interesting. They embrace modernity, but they fiercely protect their cultural identity.
It's not just adopting new technology or ideas,
Yeah.
but weaving it into their existing culture.
Exactly. Like the Tuluni Festival, their big harvest celebration in July. It's all about their connection to the land, to each other. You got traditional dances, songs, and their special rice beer, Zutho.
Zutho. The book mentions it. What's the story there?
It's more than just a drink. It's part of their heritage. You know, the brewing process has been passed down, specific techniques, local ingredients,
Right.
kind of a sweet taste. And it's at the center of a lot of their social gatherings.
So Zutho, it's a taste of their history. I could almost hear the music and the laughter of the Tuluni Festival, the drums, the energy of the dancers. But it's not all celebrations.
Right.
They have systems in place to keep order. The afiku, their customary law.
Yeah, the afiku. It's how they resolve disputes, maintain order. Transgressions are addressed, justice happens, but the focus is reconciliation, community well-being.
So instead of violence,
Yes.
they have a system to address conflict and ensure fairness. It makes you wonder how this system works now in our modern, interconnected world.
Well, the core principles are still relevant, but they've had to adapt to the complexities of modern life.
It speaks to their adaptability. Even their architecture reflects this.
Their traditional homes are amazing, built on hilltops for defense, but they're works of art too. Intricate carvings tell stories, represent their beliefs and ancestors.
And their hospitality is famous. It's rooted in their values. I wonder how that plays out in a modern setting.
They're known for being warm, generous. Imagine you're welcomed into a Sumi home. You're treated to amazing food, told stories about their history. You really experience their culture, where community ties are so important.
It's a powerful reminder. Progress doesn't have to mean losing tradition.
Exactly. It's a delicate balance, and the Sumi Naga are a living testament to that possibility.
So we've talked about their warrior past, their traditions, their community building. But what about the Sumi Naga of today? How are they shaping the modern world? That's what we'll talk about in the next part of our deep dive. Welcome back to our deep dive into the Sumi Naga.
We're back.
It's really amazing how they've kept their identity while becoming modern.
Yeah, they're very resilient, adaptable.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You mentioned before how their warrior past might have shaped their success in the modern world. What did you mean?
Well, think about the qualities that made them good warriors. Determination,
Mhm.
discipline, strategic thinking.
Right.
Those were honed in a tough environment.
Yeah, for sure.
And those same qualities, they're valuable in today's world. Politics, business, education. They're thriving in all those areas.
So it's not the fighting itself,
Yeah,
but the traits that were important for survival then.
right.
Those same traits can lead to success now.
Yeah.
But we also talked about some of the challenges of becoming modern, like
Mhm.
losing traditional knowledge. How are they dealing with that?
They're really proactive about protecting their heritage, A lot of the younger generation is working to document their history and traditions, recording the stories of their elders,
Yeah.
writing down their language, making digital archives. It's like a bridge between the past and the future.
That's so smart. So that knowledge isn't lost. But it's not just about preserving the past.
Right.
They're actively trying to keep the traditions alive now.
Yeah. They're finding ways to make it relevant to young people, like workshops to learn traditional crafts, weaving, wood carving, even how to make zutho.
I love that. It keeps the skills alive. It's like a reminder. Culture is always evolving. It takes work to keep those traditions going. We talked about the Sumi Naga sense of community.
Yeah, one of the things that really stands out is their sense of community. They've got this deep respect for their elders, strong family ties, and a commitment to helping each other out.
It makes sense if you think about it. If you're fighting to survive, you need to rely on each other.
Exactly. Work together. And that feeling has carried over into their modern life. They celebrate together, support each other when things are tough, work together to solve problems. It really does take a village.
And that's something we could all learn from. In a world that's so individualistic, it's nice to see people prioritize the group.
Their community is definitely a defining characteristic, and their relationship with nature is fascinating too. They have a real reverence for it. It's a spiritual connection.
It makes sense with their background in agriculture. They depend on the land, so they respect it.
Oh yeah, they have all these rituals and ceremonies to honor the spirits in the forests, the rivers, the mountains. They believe those spirits play a big part in their lives, and it's important to be in harmony with them.
It's like they see nature as sacred, which is something we all need right now with climate change and everything.
Right. The Sumi Naga remind us to live in balance with nature. We're all connected. It encourages us to take care of the planet.
Their story is so interesting. Are there any important people in Sumi Naga history? People who shaped their culture?
Yeah. Maran. He was a Sumi Naga leader,
Yeah,
big part of the Naga nationalist movement.
the movement for independence from India.
That's the one. He wanted a unified Naga identity, self-determination, really skilled negotiator, powerful speaker. His vision shaped the political landscape.
Sounds like a visionary leader.
Yeah, understood the importance of unity and self-governance.
His story shows how much impact one person can have.
He still inspires the Sumi Naga today. His story resonates with anyone fighting for justice and self-determination.
It's interesting to think what he would think of the Sumi Naga now.
He'd probably be proud of how far they've come, how they've kept their identity while dealing with modern life.
But I bet he'd encourage them to keep fighting for their rights, for a future that respects who they are.
Yeah, most likely. The fight for Naga independence is still going on. His legacy reminds us that you have to be brave, determined to fight for what you believe in.
History is never really over.
No.
It still affects us. And the people who fought for justice still inspire us.
The Sumi Naga show us that. They're resilient, they value their culture, and they're working for a better future.
We've talked about so much. Headhunting, festivals, traditions, modernization. And the more I learn, the more fascinating they are.
They really are remarkable. Their story shows us how important it is to adapt, to have a strong community, and to hold on to who you are as the world changes.
Before we finish this part, is there anything else our listeners should know to help them understand the Sumi Naga?
One thing I haven't mentioned is their art. It's incredible. It shows their beliefs, their history, their connection to their heritage.
Oh, I'd love to hear about that. What kind of art do they make?
Textiles, wood carvings, music, dance. It's all so rich and creative.
I can picture those textiles, all those colors and patterns, what makes them unique.
A lot of them are still made on traditional looms, passed down through generations. The designs are bold, geometric, lots of inspiration from nature.
So their art reflects how close they are to nature.
Yeah, and their wood carvings are amazing too. Animals, mythical creatures, scenes from their life. Each piece is full of meaning, telling stories for future generations.
I bet those carvings are all over their homes. Like decorations, but also telling stories.
That's a good way to put it. Their art is a way to show their identity. It speaks to their heart and soul.
Their art sounds incredible. I'd love to see it in person.
It really is amazing. You see their beauty, their symbolism, their culture.
We've covered so much today, but it feels like we're just scratching the surface.
There's always more to learn.
That's what I love about deep dives. They make you want to learn more. So stay tuned for the last part of our deep dive into the Sumi Naga. We'll talk about their beliefs, their music, their enduring spirit. Welcome back. It's our final deep dive into the Sumi Naga. We've learned so much already. You know, in the last part, you talked about how unique their music is.
Yeah, their music, it's really special.
What makes it so special?
Well, it's deeply rooted in their culture. A lot of it's very rhythmic. and focuses on vocals, storytelling, emotional expression.
Okay.
And they use all these traditional instruments, bamboo flutes, drums, even a mouth harp.
Oh, wow.
It's really earthy and evocative.
I love the use of natural sounds,
Yeah.
like the bamboo flutes. So beautiful. What kind of stories do their songs tell?
Oh, all kinds. Ancient myths, everyday life, love stories, celebrations, harvests, weddings.
Wow.
It's like a history book, passed down through the generations, through song,
It's amazing. We talked about how they've blended their traditional beliefs with Christianity.
right?
I imagine their belief system like a tapestry, with Christianity woven in with the existing patterns of their old beliefs.
That's a great way to put it. And you can hear it in their music, too. You hear Christian hymns, but you also hear those traditional chants and rhythms,
Yeah.
blending the familiar with the distinct.
Music can really bridge different beliefs and cultures. It creates something new, but it still honors the roots of each tradition. It really shows the Sumi Naga's adaptability.
Yeah, they embrace new ideas, but hold on to what's important. And their music is also really communal. You see them singing and dancing together, their voices in harmony, creating that sense of unity and joy. It's a real sign of their strong social bonds, their togetherness.
So their music is really a symbol of their values,
Yeah.
their connection to nature, their community, their ability to adapt and evolve.
Exactly. It's more than just entertainment. It's part of who they are, a way to connect with their past, celebrate the present, and look towards the future.
We've covered so much about the Sumi Naga. As we finish up this deep dive, what is the one thing you want our listeners to remember?
That's a good question. I think the main thing is the Sumi Naga are a great example of resilience, adaptability, and how strong cultural identity can be. Their story shows us that we can handle change, embrace new things, and build a future that respects both tradition and progress.
It has been fascinating learning about them. I'm leaving with such admiration for them. They remind us that even when the world feels divided, there are cultures out there that are holding on to their heritage while embracing the future.
Absolutely. And, this is just the start of your journey. There's still so much to learn.
That's right. If you're interested in the Sumi Naga, go learn more. Read the books, watch the documentaries, listen to their music, really dive into their world, and maybe one day you'll even get to visit Nagaland yourself. For now, keep exploring, keep learning,
Yeah.
and keep those deep dives going.
Happy exploring.